Hello Internet, it's me, Eldest, and this is this is my daily talks show. Um, well, today I would like to try reviewing a movie. I think it should be interesting and it's challenging, but I could try it. Uh, I would like to talk about the movie Midsommar. Uh, I've seen it, what, 3 or 4 times last week, and just because I had an idea to talk about it on the show, um, and it is a special movie, unusual, and I think it's classified as uh, over 16s, but I think it should be over 18s or something. Okay. Well, it's just maybe there's not so much violence, but it's so different and disturbing. So I would rate it as over 18s only. Mm, but these days we have standards. But probably it was always the same. Young people are allowed to be involved in stupid shit and see some, I don't know, cruel, violent stuff, like war gaming. Really, small kids are playing these games, and I used to play it as well when I was a teenager, but not like small, not like 12 or something. Like, but yeah, the world is changing, and it's interesting to talk about Midsommar movie because there's mm, there's really unusual story about the people who went for some kind for some kind of celebration in Sweden. They well, basically all of them were students, and they were finishing college or something, and they had to write work about some cultural work, and one of the guys chose to talk to write about mm, to write thesis, how they call it. I'm not sure. I've never I never had that stuff, so I'm not sure thesis. But one of the guys chose to write about Midsummer, and it is basically a celebration. I guess it's something like in the middle of summer where uh, you know uh, mm, even Vikings who used to celebrate, and in the modern day there's a mm, community, like I'm talking about the movie, there's a community who are still doing some rituals, like old school rituals, the sacrifices, all that crap. And the interesting part with people who are going to that thing, they really didn't know what was going to happen, and they were so shocked about all the situation, and especially one lady who lost all her family like a few months ago, and the boyfriend brought her to that event as well. So for her it was non-stop shock. Life is life is well, wasn't very soft to her, and mm, like in the beginning they landed in Sweden. Everything went okay. It seemed okay. They were driving from the airport, and they made first stop. They met first few people somewhere in the countryside, and mm, they they had some mushrooms. They had an interesting trip, and the movie was really well done. I mean, the storytelling, you know, the visual effects, like they were so small, tiny, but they were straight to the point. For example, when people were high on something, like I don't know, what in the in that in that part where they uh, uh, took mushrooms, you know, it was interesting. You know, some visual effects were made just to express the trip of the of the mushroom trip, and there was mushroom tea as well. If somebody didn't want to eat the actual mushroom, I was surprised. I never knew that something like that would exist, but it's probably true. And weird talk where when people are tripping, and weird conversations. I mean, and it was fun, interesting, and uh, interesting to watch. And after they finished doing drugs there, they went to the village, so somewhere, I don't know where, but like in a really distant place, um, and there were buildings of uh, weird shapes, and you know, weird weird paintings, drawings, like you know, the weird art, and there was geez, you just have to see it. And there was a bear. I mean, the actual animal, brown bear, in the cage. And you know, when you're watching that movie, you are actually mm, you know, should should get some clues, because you know, those little details that you are seeing in the movie, they are giving hints about the events in the near future, like the next day, or something, about the rituals that are going to happen. And the the locals, they were like white dressed, you know, like hippie stuff. They really were like hippie community, but I don't think hippies would do that. Like hippie, like is for me, association of a hippie is like, in my mind, is like peaceful person, peaceful community should be, right? But not exactly like that. And it's basically Viking culture, what's represented in that movie, because like, I watched I watched Vikings, the TV series, twice, and I actually had a small role in the Vikings. Next season, in November, it should start, and I'm not sure which part. Maybe if they don't cut me out, I will be there as well. But like, I know two things about Vikings, and I was uh, doing Wikipedia research, and like, I was quite interested in the Viking culture, especially when I'm living in Ireland right now. So it all makes sense. And you know, this movie Midsommar, it is something fucking special for sure. uh, because you know, like, small little things that you are seeing in there, it's just so amazing. You know, the way they talk, For example, when somebody from the elders, they making a speech. I know it's Swe Swedish probably, or I don't speak Swedish language, but maybe it's some some old school Viking language. I don't know, but doesn't matter. I still don't understand it. So when you talk, they do crazy actions, like hand movements, like like oh, and screaming or something, like oh, some like strange uh, strange noises, basically, like something like that, for example. And just so strange and weird. And that makes you think about the difference, about the cultural differences. And like modern society is built like one way, but the old school stuff, it might still exist somewhere. There might be people who are actually doing those rituals, and sacrificing people, and that's just fucking insane. And the thing is, like, those people from the community, they are uh, so calm. Like, for them, it's normal. It's like it's a great honor to be there, and it doesn't matter that somebody dies against their will. That's so fucked up, actually. mm, and there was also a sex scene. uh, it was ritual as well. And one of the characters was chosen to be a sex partner, basically mating the approved pre-approved sex ritual. They drugged the person, and they were playing to his mind to to bring him to that lady, and let him fuck her. And there are other naked women around, and they were like singing, and it was so fucking weird. You can't even imagine. It's just so insane. And that guy, he actually had a girlfriend. That's the one who invited his girlfriend to come there uh, uh, together. And uh, one of their friends was actually from that community, and that motherfucker knew everything was going to happen, probably. But he was let's say brainwashed in the community, so he brought those people, like they were students, they were studying together, they were friends for a couple of years probably, and he brought them to that stupid event. That's not nice. But on the other hand, those guys, they acted stupid as well. They supposed to make intelligent decisions, and they probably would survive. Like, for example, I would fucking run after the first sign of madness, when the old people, two old people, they jumped off the cliff to sacrifice themselves, because they were like 72 years old, and for them the cycle of life was over. So they, on that special day, and that celebration was special because, like, of something which was happening every 90 years, once in a lifetime, and they were so special to like honor it, to jump off the fucking cliff. and you know, they break their fucking faces, legs on the rock, and actually, well, the woman jumped really successfully, so she died straight away. The old man, he broke his leg badly and hurt his head, but he was still alive. So the people from the community had to finish him off. They had a special like I don't know, huge wooden, I wouldn't say hammer, like but yeah, it's basically a hammer, huge, like it's for the rituals as well. And it was so fucking weird. I just, you know, I guess you understand why I want to make a review of this movie, and I'm rating it like with the like for sure. And another interesting thing, like I was watching it in the cinema, and people obviously they were watching for the first time, but when I was there for the second, third time, I think I watched it 3 times. You know, I was really interested in the reaction of the people, like when something serious happens or something shocking, interesting, unexpected happens. Uh, People laughing sometimes. You know, like me as well. I found myself as well when I'm when I'm shocked by the storyline in the movie. I'm just you know, I'm laughing. For example, with that sex scene, it's impossible not to laugh, I think, because it's so weird. It's so not from this world. It's seriously. What else? Uh, one thing to be mentioned uh, is you know, the community. They are so it was like a tight community. They are like families, but that's why they had to bring the person from a side to avoid incest. I mean the inbreeding, when you know, sisters, brothers, and cousins are fucking each other. So that's the ritual to, like, I mean, sex scene. That was the ritual to bring new genes into the community. Uh, so you know, when that was happening, the actual sex process, the naked women were around, and they were singing or something, and when the girl who was fucked, she started moaning, and all those crazy bitches were moaning as well, just as a sign of support. And the same happened when the old guy jumped off the cliff. They were, everyone was moaning, you know, like the guy was screaming because of the pain, obviously, and everyone was like, ah, they are supporting. That was like they're how it's just like they were mm, like showing support, or like making it easier for the person who's suffering. And it happened like four times in the movie, when somebody, like at the end, when somebody was burning in, you know, the final sacrifice, the people were burning alive. They everyone was screaming, and you know, like it was like mm, how would you call that shit? It's massive madness when like everyone is on the same uh, frequency, you know, like expressing uh, their I don't know under, understanding the like supporting the person who is in pain basically, or in some kind of pleasure, maybe even when we're talking about sex. But you know, like it looks like they were trying to mm, resonate with the emotions of the person who's screaming or otherwise you know uh, going crazy. So they were going together as a sign of support, and that's oh, you know you have to see that movie. You have to watch it seriously. If you didn't, but I actually, if you didn't see it earlier, that is something that might spoil the I don't know, the pleasure of watching the movie. Spoiler alert. But in the other hand, I was watching it for a few times, and you know, I understood one thing, that when was I saw it for the first time, I couldn't pay attention to all the details, even important details. You know, the drawings on the walls, for example, or you know, it didn't make sense. But once you go to the later stage of the movie, you then understand why you saw some symbols on the wall or on the I don't know, sheet of paper. And the another one another one thing, what was really shocking, that no, that they had an oracle, and it reminds the situation in the TV series called Vikings. They there were oracles, like there was oracle as well, and the thing is that those guys were actually uh, basically a product of inbreeding. They were made like that. They were genetically uh, fucked to be different. So they weren't. So they would be oracles. Fuck. It's, I hope you understand. Like they were like the elders were making decisions to create new oracle babies by letting fuck like I I know, brothers, sisters, like parents and children maybe. That is insane. And but oh, Jesus, that's creepy. Well, one of the most unusual, shocking, and one of the best movies this year so far, I think. Uh, and you know, it was unusual. That's one part of the equation, but another part is that everything was made really professionally. That there were no mistakes. The story was fluent, and you know, characters were kind of going through mm, the process of stupidity, like those who came to the Midsommar celebration, and the community, they were like just it was all good for them. They were uh, making something that what they were used to do. Jesus. And can you believe it was uh, really normal to do for many centuries? And can you imagine that these rituals, this kind of behavior still exists somewhere? Would you believe it?